The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
Okay, let's go.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful day off, Labor Day weekend, got some BBQ, some good food, some rest, relaxation. I also hope nobody got fired on their day off like I almost did. That's a joke. That's one of my favorite lines from Ice Cube's Friday movie, where Ice Cube goes into the bathroom and his dad's like literally on the throne, and Ice Cube had gotten fired from his job on his day off, and his dad goes, "Boy, how you going to get fired on your day off?" So anyway, I'm going to use that a lot. If you don't know what I'm talking about me, listen to the previous episode, actually episode 7, and you'll get a laugh out of that. Okay. And I am back. This is Ray Doustdar, and this is the Deep Shallow Dive, and we're doing another 712 episode. By the way, I've had a couple people ask, they're like, dude, are you ever going to do like a full Deep Shallow Dive, or what's the deal? And I definitely am. Obviously, those things take a little bit longer, and, I really try to get those 30-minute segments researched very well. And also, those are ones that, again, I just want to make sure we're storytelling properly, because 30 minutes is a lot of time. And so if you allot me that much time, I want to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Plus, in the meantime, like I said in my, oh my God, I'm going to say the word. No, I'm not going to say it. Debut episode. I'm not going to say the M word. M-A-I, you know what I'm going to say, or would have said. But in that episode, I did talk about how, I want to give topics that you can consume quickly. I did have a good friend of mine text me yesterday and say, hey, I went for an hour walk, and besides your, okay, I'm going to say it, made an episode, I was able to listen to all the rest of your episodes in my hour and 25-minute walk, because they are each around 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. And today's topic is actually going to be an interesting one. I'm going to shift gears away from politics a little bit. I think we talked about term limits about as much as we needed to, but that was an awesome discussion. If you did not listen to, really it's 3 episodes in total, 6, 7, and 8, in regards to term limits in Congress, go back and give those a listen. I think they're really good, and the biggest thing is I think it really sets the stage, hopefully, for the next 500 episodes, and that is, we've got to call a spade a spade. We've got to rise above any type of, on the political side this is, any type of, partisan party lines, and call a spade and admit just the reality of things. The other thing is, unlike pretty much every news story that's hit the wire in 2023, with the term limits, we came to closure on that. I really want to try and come to closure on all issues, because like I said, the thing I've noticed over the news cycle, especially this year, is that, something comes, Titan submersible, all of a sudden it's everywhere, and then it isn't. And there's no closure on that. So with all these episodes, if it is a somewhat controversial topic like the term limits was, I definitely want to come to a closure on those versus just leaving them open-ended. And I think we did manage that. All right, shifting gears to today's episode. And really what I want to talk about today is, what can you even trust anymore when it comes to the data and information that you're being fed on the internet, whether that's through Instagram stories, Instagram reels, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X, I hate that, or just the television news. What can you really trust anymore? And really, this for me is rooted in, I've learned so much from launching this podcast, and especially when it comes to the manipulation that you can do. I shared with you guys in episode number 5 where I told you everything I've done to launch this podcast. There's speech synthesizer companies that are using AI The one I use at the beginning of this podcast is called 11 Labs. Those guys are the ones that say, the following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production. That's an AI synthesized voice. Like I shared before, there's some hilarious like gaming video simulations where it's like Trump, Biden, and Obama, and it's like they're playing Call of Duty or something. But there's so much manipulation when it comes to voice synthesizing that, when you hear something, is that really the person saying it? Or did somebody, creatively and cleverly synthesize and clone that voice? When it comes to images, I don't know how many people know what Midjourney is or if they've played around on Midjourney, but Midjourney is an incredible AI really image tool that is only available through Discord. And I'm sure a lot of people right now are like, what the heck is Discord? Discord is it's actually pretty amazing. It's a privately held company. It's an app. And gosh, the best way to describe it is it's kind of a combination of WhatsApp in terms of messaging, but then so much more. I mean, people build out entire communities on there. They have private chats, they have public chats. It's a pretty amazing. Actually, if anybody has kids, ask your kids. They can probably describe it better than I can. But Midjourney is a photo synthesizing app inside Discord where basically you tell it what you want and the output is just incredible. I remember during the fires a few months back, the Canadian fires that somehow managed to come all the way down to New York and turn New York City into like an orange cloud. I went into Discord and I went into Midjourney and I asked for basically photo representation of that. And literally the output that Midjourney gave me compared to the images that I saw on usatoday.com, cnn.com, fox.com, any place, I mean, they were practically identical. Identical. So it was like, you're thinking, wow, okay, is that a real image? I mean, obviously I don't live in New York, so I don't know what the case was, but my point of that is that the output was insane. It was exactly the same as what you see in or what you saw in a real picture that somebody took. The other thing is, I see this happening a lot even in podcasts or definitely in posts, but, everybody quotes percentages and statistics and 82% of people, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And, it's like, where is that information coming from? You can easily just make up something and just say it. And if you put a really cool looking graphic on it, you see some of these videos, especially the reels that are on Instagram and TikTok, and the graphics are insane. Like they're so good, whether it's talking about the housing market, the financial market, whatever. But you add some statistics, you add some great graphics, and you can convince people of whatever it is you want to try and convince them of. So again, the question becomes, what can we even trust anymore, and how much vetting do we have to do? Unfortunately, a decent amount. I mean, I get sent so much stuff by so many friends that are like, oh my God, look at this. And honestly, about 30% of the time, I'm like, hey, I don't think that's real because of XYZ, or because I've got some experience with all of these AI technologies and apps now, I can kind of see what's real and what's fake because, again, I am experimenting with all these so much for this podcast. So I don't know, I don't have an answer to this right now, but this is definitely a conversation I wanted to get started because it's going to be a problem. And I'm telling you, as we get closer to the election, things are going to get weird. Crazy stuff is going to happen again. And the best thing we can do is, let's Let's learn from 2020, at least in terms of having a sense of awareness about things, and let's try and really think critically about things. By the way, I can't even believe it's September 2023 and we're gearing up for another election. Is it just me, or does time move faster these days? I swear it really feels that way. And I think it's because of technology. It's because of the need and desire and want for, immediate gratification, whether that's I'm going to text message you, I want to hear back in 2 seconds, or ordering things on Amazon and, getting next day delivery, which is insane. But regardless, God, it really feels like time flies so much faster these days. Anyway, that's it for today. I really wanted to get this conversation started under the guise, I love that word, the guise of, what can we really believe anymore these days? And just starting the discussion just about critical thinking, because I think critical thinking, again, as we move into the balance of this year and definitely 2024, is something we really need. And we really need to try and make sure, we're not getting the wool pulled over our eyes. That's it for today. Gosh, I feel so calm today, coming off the previous episodes where I think the term limits thing fired me up. But anyway, just remember, everybody, let's call a spade a spade. Talk to you soon.
This episode was brought to you by Boost Liquid Vitamins. Wake up, take your Boost, start your day. Drink your vitamins, build your immune system with Boost. Available on Boost.com.